Hello and welcome everyone. Most tunnels are simple infrastructure elements that allow travelers to reach their destination. Yet, while even the most basic tunnels require engineering feats, some go above and beyond to create an extraordinary experience. From deep-sea trains to psychedelic subways, today we'll explore 10 tunnels that will take your breath away. Let's start. The Drummond Spiral, or the Drummond Tunnel, is located in the city of Drummond, about an hour from Oslo in Norway. The tunnel is 1.65 kilometers long and is built in the form of a six-circle ascending helix, much like a multi-story parking lot. Each rotation of the helix rises 22 meters and covers a diameter of 70 meters. The tunnel emerges 180 meters above the city on Skansen Ridge, where there is a parking lot and a cafe. At the entrance of the tunnel, there is a natural area where visitors can walk, admire the view, and enjoy the sounds of rural Norway. This type of tunnel was suggested due to rising concerns that quarries were starting to deface the local landscape. Initially, the community wanted to create a tunnel as an alternative, and it ended up becoming a tourist attraction. Its construction began in 1953 after the quarries closed. The village of Juliang has always been isolated from the rest of the world as it is located at the top of the Taihang Mountains in Hunan Province, China. The only way to reach it was a few steep and narrow steps embedded in the side of the mountain called Skyladder. A slippery and dangerous climb, even for the most agile and skilled villagers, or the few people who came to sell their animals or other essential products. To solve this problem, the inhabitants of Guilang designated 13 of their workers. This team, comprising no engineers, set out to create a road. And that's what they did, little by little, using only their hand tools, patience, and determination. In 1977, 5 years after starting their colossal project, the villagers managed to carve out a 1.2-kilometer-long tunnel, nearly 5 meters high, and nearly 4 meters wide. To do this, more than 12 tons of drill rods and 4,000 hammers were used. The tunnel was built wide enough for a small car to enter, and it is still in use today. The center of Kuala Lumpur, capital of Malaysia, is regularly exposed to flash floods due to heavy rains lasting from 3 to 6 hours. After a series of devastating flash floods and accumulated losses running into billions of dollars, the government approved a never-before-tested concept to tackle the crippling floods and traffic jams affecting the city's southern entrance. The SMART Tunnel. SMART is an acronym for Stormwater Management and Road Tunnel. It is a project launched by the federal government to alleviate the problem of flooding in downtown Kuala Lumpur. The 1.2-meter diameter tunnel is a combination of a 9.7-kilometer stormwater diversion and a 4-kilometer dual carriageway. SMART was opened to traffic on May 14, 2007, after 4 years of construction, and cost around $514 million, or €4,466,700. SMART can accommodate 30,000 cars a day and has already been used 44 times to divert flooding. The Tunnel of Love is located between Cleven and the village of Ortsey, on the Kovel-Rivne line. Near Orzov, the line splits into 2 tracks, one leading to Cleven and the other to a Cold War-era military base hidden in the forest. At that time, trees were deliberately planted along the track to camouflage the transport of military equipment. Today, this 5-kilometer green tunnel is carefully maintained as a walkway for lovers. It is said that this tunnel, where couples and newlyweds take photos, is extremely popular in Ukraine. However, sometimes tourists pose a problem for railway operators who must monitor the tracks. Last year, a 38-year-old Japanese woman was hit by the train and fractured her hip. Fortunately, this was an isolated incident, even though the tunnel officially has no protection or guard. It is also interesting to note that a few years ago, several trees were cut down to facilitate the passage of the train. This caused such an uproar that since then, not a single tree has been touched. When Zion National Park was created in 1909, it was called Mukuntaweep National Monument. Then, in 1919, it automatically became Zion National Park. It had only one major problem: it was very isolated, requiring travel on old, rugged roads to access it. In 1917, automobiles could hardly reach Zion Canyon, and a solution was urgently needed. The construction of the Zion Mount Carmel Tunnel began in 1927 with the goal of allowing access to the east side of Zion National Park, as well as facilitating access to Bryce Canyon and the Grand Canyon. This revolutionary construction project, representing one of the greatest engineering feats of the time, gave birth to the longest non-urban tunnel in the United States. The mission was entrusted to the Nevada Construction Company, which used some controversial extraction methods rather than traditional methods. 3 years and a cost of nearly $2 billion at the time, or about $26 million current dollars, were required to complete the project. The tunnel, which was inaugurated on July 4, 1930, is still open and constitutes a major element of the Zion Mount Carmel Scenic Drive, attracting millions of visitors each year. The Tokyo Bay Aqualine is a toll road that crosses the narrowest part of Tokyo Bay. Open to traffic in December 1997, it required 31 years of construction study and a budget of 1.44 trillion yen. With a total length of 23.7 kilometers, the Tokyo Bay Aqualine includes a 4.4-kilometer bridge and a 9.6-kilometer tunnel under the bay, the fourth longest underwater tunnel in the world. To achieve this, engineers faced several challenges, ranging from the soft seabed to natural conditions like wind and earthquakes, maritime traffic, and environmental preservation in Tokyo Bay. This tunnel reduced the journey between the prefecture of Chiba and the mainland from 90 to 15 minutes. While previously cut off from the rest of Japan, Chiba is now fully integrated into the Tokyo municipality. However, the tunnel is not often used for daily commutes due to its toll, which costs about $30. The Marmari Tunnel is 13.6 kilometers long. It runs under part of the Bosphorus Strait and connects Istanbul's existing rail systems on the European and Asian sides. Inaugurated in October 2013, this public transport project represents a further effort to alleviate Istanbul's notoriously frenetic traffic. At last, the train offers residents an alternative to the car. Indeed, the Marmari project is a public transport service, which some 12 million people use every day to cross the city. The project to build a rail tunnel under the Bosphorus Strait dates back to 1860, when Sultan Abdülmecid first proposed an underwater crossing of the strait. It was revived in 1892 under Abdul Ahmad II, when French engineers drew up the plans. However, it was never realized. It was only in 1997 that the Turkish government decided to finally link the two continents. More than 10 years later, the tunnel was unveiled. Now, for the price of a metro ticket, locals and tourists alike can travel through kilometers of tunnel, moving between the two continents. Rail and road tunnels, underpasses and subways, these long, narrow marvels of civil engineering are an integral part of our modern infrastructure. The Channel Tunnel, for example, is a 50.5-kilometer passage linking England and France across the English Channel. It is the only fixed link between the island of Great Britain and the French side. Its deepest point is 75 meters below the seabed, and 115 meters below sea level. At 37 kilometers underwater, the Channel Tunnel has the longest underwater section in the world. It has been recognized as one of the 7 wonders of the modern world by the American Society of Civil Engineers, alongside the Empire State Building, the Itaipu Dam in South America, the CN Tower in Toronto, the Panama Canal, the Delta Plan in the Netherlands, and the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. During its construction, up to 13,000 people were employed. And 10 workers, including 8 British, were killed in site accidents. 11 drilling machines weighing a total of 12,000 tons, each the size of 2 soccer pitches, were used to excavate it. One of them, on the British side, remains buried under the tunnel, while another was sold on eBay in 2004 for £39,999, 46,700 euros. To cross the Huangpu River near Shanghai's bustling Bund Boulevard, you can either hop on a cheap subway or take a psychedelic trip through the Bund Sightseeing Tunnel, which lies beneath the famous Pearl of the Orient. It was built to become one of the Bund's most important tourist attractions, and continues to attract large numbers of travelers. Even though it's more than 10 times more expensive than the subway. Anyone who takes it is in for a breathtaking experience. After settling into a small, futuristic carriage, passengers are whisked quietly through a tunnel filled with strobe lights. The ride simulates a flight through a kind of space. The burst of lights and flashing colors is accompanied by rather eerie music, occasionally punctuated by English words like shining star and hell. It's not clear whether the ride evokes wonder or terror, but it's fair to say that both reactions are appropriate. In any case, even though the tunnel is only 650 meters long, it makes for a memorable experience. It was 10 tunnels that will take your breath away. Which of these tunnels did you like best? Let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, don't forget to thumb up and subscribe, and share it with your friends. See you tomorrow for a new video.